Capitals Coalition, and it includes events in Italy, West Africa, Brazil, Canada, India, Spain and the Caribbean, as well as here in Scotland. The purpose is to share experiences within these regional contexts and discuss how we can achieve transformation in decision making. The series will culminate in a closing event on the 10th of November, summarising key learnings from the 8 Hubs events and a look ahead to the next steps of the global community. So the purpose of today's event is really to bring people together and have an opportunity to explore what the TNFD means. So this is all still quite new to people. It's not the kind of event that you can fill a stadium with yet, but it's a really important and growing topic. And the people here today and online are really going to play an important role in helping people to understand what this all actually means. So nature-related financial disclosures and how we think about natural capital in that context. You'll be hearing shortly from Richard Matheson, who will deliver the keynote address. He'll put things in an international context for you all. And then we'll have some discussions that should allow you to think about what it might mean in practice for an organisation to start adopting these principles, whether it's a large organisation, a small business, a public sector organisation or a private sector organisation. We'll examine the feasibility and the challenges and incentives of using a framework like the nature, the framework developed by the Task Force for Nature-related Financial Disclosures, and what we might expect from that. Now, all of you will be well aware of what Antonio Guterres has said, I imagine, and he has said quite rightly that making peace with nature is the defining task of the 21st century. It must be the top priority for everyone, everywhere, and I couldn't agree more. There's welcome recognition in the draft Scottish Biodiversity Strategy that we need change as well. It says that what we've come to understand is that the key shortcomings relating to governance and accountability structures and mechanisms for mainstreaming biodiversity into all areas of policy, including economic policy making, have undermined our ambitions. Now, that's not unique to Scotland, but that recognition is welcome. So the kind of discussions that we'll have here today will help us address that. Importantly, the expected adoption of the UN Convention on Biological Diversity post-2020 Global Biodiversity Framework, which will be discussed at the COP15 event in Montreal, is likely to galvanise transformative action by governments and impact the responsibilities that businesses are expected to carry out. Specifically, Target 15 for 2030 expects all businesses to assess and report on their dependencies and impacts on biodiversity, reduce negative impacts by at least half, and increase positive impacts. So that's a big task, and that's what we're here to discuss today. There's a campaign running called Make It Mandatory. That is a campaign being run by Business for Nature, and I understand that there are well over 300 signatories to that already. So before I hand over to Richard to deliver the keynote, I would just like to mention a couple of upcoming dates. We know when we run events like this that organisations require a little bit more bespoke support following an introduction to a topic. So in March next year, it's a little while away, but in March there will be a follow-up from today's event, and it will be the first of a series of tutorial workshops on using the framework in practice, to be held here again at the Business School and online. You'll also see later in the event, I think Julia will probably share some slides showing another event as well about the blue economy, also being run by the Scottish Forum on Natural Capital. Julia, if you'd like to just pop up the agenda so that people can be reminded of the format of today, and then I will hand over to Richard. Delighted to have Richard here. Richard has got enormous expertise in this area. He's Chief Executive of Trucost and President of S&P Global Sustainable One. And as I say, he's going to give you some international context on this really important topic and some inside track information, I'm sure, with all his insights. So, Richard, thank you very much.